friends, welcome back to Belle's Library. I'm Heather. Today we are going to start a new reading vlog, reading Beauty and the Beast retellings. I personally love fairy tale retellings. They have become some of my favorite fantasy to get into, and I happen to have collected a few Beauty and the Beast retellings. Also, my channel name, Belle's Library, is kind of spawned from the fact that I would love to have Belle's Library. I think that she is such a bookworm and it just fits so perfect with this world that we have here on BookTube and the bookish community. So that's why I chose it. But yeah, her library is just gorgeous. So anyways, I just figured it's perfect for my channel, as well as I really enjoy fairy tale retellings, that I read a few Beauty and the Beast books. So I've got 3 of them for us to read, and we'll see how I like them and if they're worth you guys reading, although you may have read some of these. One of them is very popular, and a lot of people have read it and are reading it, so yeah, it'll be my foray into that one. Before we get started into what books I'm going to be reading, though, please get down below, click subscribe, and also Goodreads and Instagram are down below, so you can chit-chat with me on all of those, all the bookish goodness. So go ahead and check all of that out. All right, so the first book, which I kind of was alluding to, was ACOTAR. So A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I feel like so many people have read this book. Sarah J. Maas is so popular, and I have only read Throne of Glass, like the very first book so far by this author, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't anything like mind-blowing, but I know it's one of her oldest books. It might be her oldest book. I'm not sure, but everybody's been really loving the series, and I found out that it's, you know, a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I was like, all right. And I believe this one has Fae. So it looks like we're following Fair, and she's 19 years old, and she's in the forest, and she ends up killing this wolf, and then this, like, beast shows up for retribution. Like, he's like, hey, you can't be doing that, and drags her off to a treacherous magical land that she's only heard about in legends, and finds out that he is one of the most lethal immortal fairies who once ruled their world, Tamlin. And then she's kind of like dwelling on his estate, and her feelings for Tamlin transform from icy hostility into a fiery passion. And yeah, it's like a fantasy romance, I believe, going on between the two of them. An ancient wicked shadow over the fairylands is growing, and Fair must find a way to stop it or doom Tamlin and his world forever. So sounds very Beauty and the Beast-ish type of a deal. So I'm excited to see what the fuss is about with this one and get into yet another series. Why not, right? Then I have As Old as Time by Liz Braswell. So this is part of the Disney Twisted Tales series, and basically they take a classic Disney tale and they just twist it a little bit with a slightly different question. So this one says, what if Belle's mother cursed the beast? So we basically are following the same storyline as Beauty and the Beast, but with that one change and how it would change the whole story. I did read one of these. I read Conceal Don't Feel, which is the Frozen one where they kind of twist it a little bit. And you definitely get like the fun vibes of kind of reading a story that sounds like the exact same tale. Like, you're getting a lot of the same characters, they're saying similar lines to the movie, and kind of some similar things are happening, but just in a slightly different way. So it's kind of nostalgic and fun to, at least that one was, to read that and be with those characters. I really enjoy Frozen in general. So I'm excited to see kind of how this one works out, and if I enjoy this one as much as I did the Frozen one, but we'll see. And the last book is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. And this one, again, let's start some more series, right? So in this one, we're following Prince Ren, and he's cursed by a powerful enchantress to repeat the autumn of his 18th year over and over. And basically, he can be saved, but a girl needs to fall in love with him. Basically, we also have Harper, and she lives in New York City, and she is struggling because her father's long gone, her mother's dying, and she also has cerebral palsy. She's learned to really be tough and survive, and she ends up trying to save this stranger on the streets. Oh, of Washington, D.C., not New York City. I don't know why I said that. Anyways, and she ends up getting pulled into like this magical world, basically probably to save Prince Ren, I'm guessing. And the two of them are going to be on his estate, and I'm assuming going to fall in love and, you know, follow that Beauty and the Beast type retelling storyline. So we'll see how this one goes. I know that one's actually been pretty popular, although I think it's been a while since this one's been talked about a little bit. And I think that the next couple books in the series people didn't enjoy quite as much as this first one. We'll find out when we get there. But I've heard great things about this first book. So here is the 3 books that we will be reading for this vlog. I'm very excited to be getting into these and seeing what I think. I predict that I'm going to enjoy these. I really am excited to read all of these, to be quite honest. I'm excited to get into the ACOTAR series and see what Sarah J. Maas has there. I have been wanting to read this book for a long time, and this one's just kind of a fun, nostalgic type story. So I'm gonna enjoy these. So let's go ahead and get started on this journey and see how these go. Hello guys. Okay, I'm jumping in here after this intro because some things have changed throughout the course of this vlog. And I had this idea, you will see it. So you will see later in the vlog that I kind of get an idea, and I think I'm going to run with this idea. But basically this is going to turn into something I'm going to call Battle of the Fairy Tales. And basically what I'm going to do is do these vlogs where I'm reading retellings of different types of fairy tales to see which retellings I like the most. So we've got Beauty and the Beast happening in this one, and I'm actually going to add in one more book. I'm going to read Hunted by Megan Spooner to kind of make this all work. So I'm not going to include the Disney Twisted Tales story, but I'm going to do the other 3. And in future vlogs, I may read the Twisted Tales book in it, but it's not going to count towards the actual points and all of that while we are battling out all these different fairy tales. So I'm going to add Hunted by Megan Spooner, and I don't know a ton about this, but it's going to get added in to this vlog as well towards the end there. And then we'll add up basically whatever star rating I give between 1 and 5 stars. That'll be that many points. And then we'll do all 3 books, and then that'll be how many points this Beauty and the Beast gets. And then we'll do other fairy tale retellings, and we'll see which one's the best, at least in my opinion, and what I like the most. And you guys can come along on the journey with me, and we'll just have some fun with it. So with this also, if you guys have some recommendations for fairy tale retellings that you have really enjoyed, I would really love to hear them down below, because I would like to start collecting some ideas for these future videos, and I want to read books that I think I'm going to like. So give me some suggestions, what you guys want to see as well. Is there certain fairy tale retellings that you'd like to see more of? Do you want to see Sleeping Beauty? Do you want to see Rapunzel? I don't know, whatever you guys can think of. Let me know, put it down below, and let's go ahead and jump back into the rest of this video and vlog. Okay, so I have started As Old as Time, and I am moving through it. This is actually almost 500 pages long. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure, yeah. I was like, wow, this book is pretty lengthy. I'm almost 125 pages in, so that's like, what, a quarter? About a quarter of the way through here. I have to say, I don't know if this was because I've been in a little bit of a reading slump or if it's the book, but I was having a hard time picking up and getting started in this book. But again, I've been having kind of a rough month, and I've been struggling a little to read and haven't really wanted to pick anything up, so I don't know that it's anything to do with the book. I'm definitely feeling like I want to be reading a little bit more, so I'm hoping that that's a good sign and we're going to get through this book. But the beginning of this story, so we're following the Beauty and the Beast timeline, but because we have this element of what if Belle's mother cursed the beast, it goes back before the actual storyline starts in the typical Disney movie. And we're following Maurice, Belle's father, and how he like met Belle's mother and kind of their storyline.
as well. And then we also then have also Belle's timeline where we're following the traditional story a little bit more, but obviously it's slightly different as well because we do have this twist in it. So we have a couple different timelines going there, and I think it's interesting and cool, but it was kind of taking me a little bit to get used to and figure out what was going on. And I'm still trying to piece together some of how this stuff is connected, and I'm sure it's going to come together. But going into this, I was expecting a little bit more of the actual Beauty and the Beast storyline, and we're just kind of taking a little bit of a detour. So starting so much farther back kind of threw me off. But I'm enjoying it, and I do think it's an interesting idea to go back and think about like how Belle's parents met and what their life was like before, and kind of leading up to the events and what could have happened to have caused the curse and all of that. So it's interesting, and I'm enjoying it so far. And that's kind of what I got so far. I will say there's definitely some connections between the two timelines and some of the characters, and I know there's more and I'm just not fully picking up on them, but I'm intrigued to see how it's kind of connecting to everything else, because I feel like there's more connection between all of our usual suspects, as well as like the bookshop owner is in here, and I think he has more of a connection there, and I feel like some of the other characters might as well, like Gaston and LePew, and but I'm not totally sure yet. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, I'm starting to get into a little bit more of the storyline that I know, and that brings around some nostalgia feelings with the movie and stuff. So I am enjoying that, and I'm liking having the mix of a little bit of something new as well as something that's just like near and dear to my heart. So that's where we're at so far in this one. And I'm so excited that I'm getting back in my reading groove, and I'm sure I sound a little nasally, but the cold that I had is passing too, which is probably helping so much as well. So I'll talk to you guys soon when I'm farther in here. Wow, guys. So this book, with how much it really just kind of started off a little bit slower build, kind of an intrigue to it, it really like developed and finished strong, and I feel like it was well done and successful. I really thoroughly enjoyed this. I feel like having that build up really like gave some more depth to our characters and story, and just like expounded on them so much more, so you could really like know some of the different motives and thoughts and feelings between all of these characters and how they're all connected. And I really enjoyed being able to know more about our characters. I was like, man, this would have been awesome to see in the movie. It makes the movie just not seem like it's got that much substance to it. And then we have this underlying plot as well with the kingdom and why the curse was done and what was happening that kind of led up to it, including some discrimination and such against people with magic. And oh my gosh, I loved that it had a little bit more topics to it to discuss, and that it did go a little bit more of a dark direction than, necessarily a Disney movie would go. But yeah, I really enjoyed the extra depth that was put into this, and it was really well done. It made me want to read some more of these Twisted Tales. I've read 2 so far. I think I've mentioned that. And now I'm like, what other ones? What else should I read? Because, yeah, so I was poking around. I was like, oh, that one looks good. Oh, yeah. So gonna have to think about trying to pick up some more of these Twisted Tales, because I really enjoyed this, and I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I thought it was great. So I think this one actually, so definitely noticed a difference between like this one and Conceal Don't Feel, in that I didn't feel as nostalgic reading this one, or warm and cozy. This one did go a little bit more dark. What noise was that you just made, Tim Tim? I don't know what noise he just made. But yeah, I feel like this one just had that, and then Conceal Don't Feel was a little bit more warm and cozy and nostalgic, and a little more to the story of Frozen a little bit more. But I still I definitely enjoyed both. I think I enjoyed this one more though. So I'm not sure which of the other 2 books I'm going to pick up next. I'm thinking it's going to be the Sarah J. Maas one, because that one I think I can get on audio, and that'll help me kind of get going into it a little bit sooner, but we'll see. And you will see in just a second.
Hey, so it's kind of been a couple months. I definitely got myself into a fantasy slump, and so now we are back feeling fantasy, and I'm ready to finish up this vlog. I'm started ACOTAR, so I'm about a quarter of the way into it, and I am intrigued and I'm really enjoying it so far. So we're basically following our main character. She is like out hunting one day in the woods, and she comes across this wolf and ends up killing him, but he was actually Fae, and so Tamlin he's also Fae, and he shows up at her house and is like, who killed him, what happened? And she didn't know that he was a part of that world, and so she gets basically he says, I can either kill you now or you can come with me and we can go, and you just have to stay with me and you have to be at my estate forever for the rest of your life. And she's really concerned because she's the one who like feeds her family. She hunts for them. They have fallen on hard times, and the rest of them just really haven't stepped up to the plate. But she goes with him, and it's very intriguing, and she's kind of learning more about like the Fae world and what is going on there, and trying to stay alive and not get in trouble. But like Tamlin's supposed to be kind of this bad person. He like owns the estate, and you know, he's Fae, so that just automatically makes him terrible. But like you can tell that he's kind of got a soft spot, and he kind of likes Feyre, I think. I don't know. So I am liking him so far. I don't know if we're supposed to or not. And then we have Lucian, and I don't really like him, but I feel like Feyre trusts and talks to him more, or is more comfortable around him. So I don't know. But I definitely will say I think I'm a little more intrigued by this than Throne of Glass. That series, I mean, the book was fine, but like this one, I'm a little more interested. I haven't really read anything with Fae like this, and I'm curious as to how the retelling's gonna go, and I don't know, it sounds good. So we're gonna see how this goes, but I'm about a quarter of the way in, and we're just kind of setting things up, and she's starting to get settled. And
Okay, well, I am making some progress here in ACOTAR, and I'm almost halfway, I'd say. I'm on page like 180, here at chapter 20. Yes, I have a random checklist thing in here to mark my spot, but you know, yeah. I am enjoying this quite a bit. I am surprised at how much more I'm intrigued and into this story than Throne of Glass. Like, I don't know. And it's hard because I'm comparing this author's work, because that's just what you do for whatever reason, but maybe I should be comparing it on its Beauty and the Beast aspects a little bit more for this vlog. So the other one was obviously very comparable to Beauty and the Beast, with just like a twist to it with the twisted tales. And this one, like, our Beast, he's not very beastly. Like, he's, to me, very warm-hearted, and you just like are getting to know that a little bit more. He just doesn't show it to everybody, you know? And I'm just really like loving that and appreciating it, and definitely getting a few sparks kind of starting to fly between our two characters here, and I'm really enjoying that. I am enjoying the fact that we have this fun fantasy Fae world that we're learning about, and we have that kind of world building of fantasy, but the romance mixed in here, and that little like belly flippin' feeling and all that fun stuff, like, I'm just kind of really loving that. And look, I actually kind of matched the book today, so that's kind of fun too. But yeah, I definitely think that fantasy romance is something I need to explore a little bit more, and I'm having a really fun time with the book overall. And so far, this vlog's going really well as far as enjoying Beauty and the Beast retellings. As long as, you know, we keep continuing in the right direction here, we're about halfway through this vlog. I finished 1.5 books and we have 1.5 to go. So yeah, I will probably not update you until I'm done with this. But I don't think it'll be much longer because I'm very much enjoying it. Also, I think Timmy just wanted to say hi. So there's the Tim. Hi, Timmy. Hi, boy. Oh shoot, I totally forgot to grab the book so I can like hold it up and show it so I don't have to put in a screenshot. Dang it. Okay, anyways, I finished A Curse So Dark and Lonely, and I finished it a while ago and I haven't updated you guys and I'm sorry. But I finished it. I really enjoyed it. It was well put together. I really liked the way they kind of built in this kind of two different worlds that kind of connect, but only in a certain way. I really liked the way that the characters, their relationship built. I think that was probably one of my favorite parts. Our main character, like, she doesn't let anything get in her way. She's like, I'm gonna like do this thing and we're gonna do it right and it's gonna happen. And she makes it happen. And I really appreciate that. Like, she's got some serious tenacity. She wants to help people and she doesn't like let anyone get in her way. She doesn't let the fact that she has cerebral palsy get in her way. Like, if she's gonna figure out a way out of something or she's gonna try and help somebody or something's happening, like, she's gonna get in there and get it done. And I definitely appreciated that. I think that she really like brought out, what is his name? Oh my goodness. Our male main character, she really brought him out of this rut that he was stuck in. And I loved it. There was still a little bit of some fun magical elements to the castle, and the curse was very different and unique and interesting. The idea that this beast kind of comes around and the beast is different each time. Like, sometimes it's winged, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's furry, sometimes it's not. It's just, there's a lot of different elements to it. And the way they've learned to kind of deal with this beast and live with him and try to protect other people from him when he's kind of in that beastly mode. And I thought that was so intriguing. And then we have our evil sorceress main character lady, and I thought she was, you know, not super in the story, but like she would pop in and you could tell that she just was not a pleasant person. There was a little bit more going on there. I don't know. There was a lot of fun elements, but we also had our world side to it too. And our main character, she's really just dealing with missing her home and family as well. And there's a lot of stuff going on at home for her that she's trying to help with and figure out. And, you know, her mom's sick, her brother's there, and she kind of just left and ditched out on him. Not on purpose, because obviously she got pulled into this other world that she wasn't really expecting. Did I even like start a synopsis on this one? I don't even know. Let's backtrack a sec just in case I did not. In this one, we're following our main character. Basically, she suffers from cerebral palsy, and her family really like kind of doesn't allow her to do certain things because of it, but obviously she has her own agenda. But her mom is really ill, her dad has left, and it's left up to her brother to really provide and stuff like that, and they're really struggling. And one day she sees this guy, like, looks like mugging this other girl, and she goes out to like attack him, and she's like, he ends up taking her into his world instead because the other girl got away. And so he takes her to his world where we have our Beastly character, and he is a man at this point. So he kind of goes through this cycle where during the fall, he's kind of this man and he slowly turns into the beast through the winter. Or is it the opposite? Winter, and then when we reach fall again, he turns, I don't know. Anyways, it's like a cycle basically. And once he hits that beastly state, if he hasn't fallen in love with the girl that has been brought over this time, then he turns into the beast and the girl gets away basically. And so this just keeps happening. It's been going on for a long time, and the beast is just kind of, he's worn out by it. He's like, nothing is happening anymore. I'm worn out. Like, he's checked out, and he's just trying to keep his people as safe as that he can, but obviously that's very hard because he's got this curse put on him. And then our lovely lady, she comes into the picture, and she's very different from the other girls. She wants to escape and get away, and she doesn't want anything to do with any of this. And she slowly starts to kind of put things together, but she also is like, well, you say I'm not a prisoner, cool, I'm going into town. We're gonna go do this. We're gonna go hang out here. And she likes to ride horses, and it's just very different and interesting. I really enjoyed it. I think this one really follows along with the Beauty and the Beast storyline better than ACOTAR did, where that one it was really more towards the end where you kind of see that. This one you kind of see some of those plot lines throughout. But I don't know that I enjoyed one more than the other. They were just different, but I definitely feel like this one was stronger in the Beauty and the Beast vibes. So, I don't know. Take that as you will, but it's kind of how I feel about that one. And I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. So we have 2 4.5 star reads so far. So whatever video ends up coming up next after this is going to have some work cut out for it. We've got 9 points already, and we've got one more book coming up to read, and we'll see how that one goes. If it's another 4.5 star, like, that's gonna be hard to beat. That is gonna be hard to beat. So,
Hey guys, I just wanted to quickly update you because I started Hunted. I can't seem to get this book in the right direction. Here we go. I'm about a quarter of the way in, so you can see I'm right there. And so far, you know, just really setting up the story. It's going well. We're following Yeva. She's our main character here, and her family. Her dad, like, his inventory for his like trading shop all gets stolen, and things just kind of go bad. So they end up leaving their home, trying to sell everything they can, and they move out to his hunting cabin, her and her 2 sisters and her dad. And her dad's like, I'm just gonna hunt to try to pay back my investors and help us survive this. And Yeva has always been really good at hunting as well, but as she's gotten older, the dad's like, no, you need to become a lady so you can get married. And so he's made her stop, but she's drawn to the woods. And one of the days he goes out hunting, it's been like days and days and he hasn't come back. And then the dog comes back and they're like, what happened to Dad? So she goes out after him, and then there's a beast that he was stalking that she ends up finding and getting captured. So definitely following a good Beauty and the Beast pattern with this one. I feel like with the 2 sisters and like the dad kind of business adventures going south, kind of reminds me a little bit of ACOTAR as well. But so far it's going good. Just wanted to say hey and say that I started it. And we'll see where it goes from here. Okay, well, I finished Hunted, and, you know, I enjoyed the book overall. I definitely found some interesting things. Like, as I was listening to this one, I was like, well, the beginning I feel like kind of started similarly to ACOTAR, but then like I feel like kind of went in a different direction. And as I was thinking about it, like when she's out at the like castle with this guy, there's like, I need to go back and see what I actually explained about this book, because did I give a synopsis? I'm pretty sure I did. Anyways, so she's out there and she's at this castle, but it's just like the 2 of them, and it's not very magical. There's not like a lot of like, you know, there's not a bunch of magical beings in the castle. There's not magical things happening. There's not a lot of that going on until like she starts kind of getting a little more into the curse and what it's about. I mean, there's a little bit, but it's really like not super present in this story. So I found that to be kind of interesting. And I mean, there's definitely some pulls to Beauty and the Beast. Like, it's definitely a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I felt that throughout the whole thing. There's a lot of the pieces that kind of, you know, coincide in there, and they're just there. But it just, I missed a little bit of that magicalness, you know, and I didn't feel as connected to the characters and like their relationship. Like the 2 of them, I just didn't super believe that they were becoming connected to each other and falling in love with each other very much. Like, it just not as much as the other ones. I feel like it just didn't quite work for me the same. So I will say that this one was probably my least favorite out of the 3, but I still enjoyed it. Like, it was a different take. It was interesting. I was, you know, entertained throughout the whole thing. I just don't feel like the characterization and relationships were quite as strong, and the plot just kind of, it didn't, like, it was just kind of, it was there, it was good, but it wasn't anything that like surprised me or you know, super like had any like extra strong emotion around it. I wasn't like, whoa, did that just happen? Or wow, oh my gosh, or hey, I really like hope they're together. Oh my gosh, why is this happening? Again, just nothing that like super was in depth and like really made the story like something extra. So overall, I ended up giving this one 3.5 stars. So a little bit lower, but still definitely a good solid book. And I think overall, like, I enjoy Beauty and the Beast retellings. This was really well done. I had 2 4.5s and then I had a 3.5. So that's like 12.5 points for this round. So now that we're kind of making this competition, somebody's got to beat 12.5 points. So that means like the next one I could have two 4s and a 4.5. And that would be a tie. So most things have to be like, you know, we have to get a chunk of 4.5s and 5s. Nothing too low. But yeah, I really want to get some 5 stars. Haven't gotten a 5-star yet with this. Obviously, this is the first video for this, but hopefully maybe with the next one we can get like a 5-star in there, because that would be really exciting and I really would love for that to happen. But yeah, I am definitely happy with the way this has gone. I really enjoy fairy tale retellings, so I'm not mad that I've decided to make this into a whole series and like a whole thing. But I'm really curious, like, will I like certain ones more than others? I think the Beauty and the Beast one was pretty good. I think it's gonna be hard to beat, because like those are all pretty good ratings for books. So I think that's pretty good. But yeah, this is gonna wrap this up. Unless I think of something else, I want to stay here in the future after I'm done editing or something. But I think this is where we're ending it. We read the 3 books. Well, actually, we read 4 books in this one. And it went really well. We have 12.5 points. And in a few months, I will try to have the next one up. I've got some ideas. I've been writing down some plans. But again, if you have other fairy tale retellings you want to recommend down below, put some book titles, or if you just are like, I really would love to see this particular fairy tale done, I can try and look up some books for that. So give me some ideas on what you guys think and what you guys want, and leave me like a magic wand down below if you don't feel like super being chit-chatty, but you just want to be like, I'm here. So anyways, I will talk to you guys soon. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye guys.